Howdy, friends and floorheads. It is Tuesday night, and it feels like forever since we played this game, but we are back with Outgunned. High action and the same style as like 80s and 90s action movies. And boy, did we leave on a cliffhanger. Our four mercenaries were hired by a guy named Carter, somebody they had worked for before, a very mysterious gentleman that claims to be representing a secret cabal of governments that sometimes need wet work done that they can't be tied to. They were told that there's some sort of weapon called Medusa and that it was being transported out of San Diego. Carter shows up at the diner where everybody's supposed to meet to give him all of the info, and he's been shot. He tells them, "Don't worry about me. The briefcase is in the van. You guys need to get to the airport, and you need to stop them from for leaving with this weapon." We have a car chase. We get to the airport. They get on the plane. Huge C-40 military plane. They sneak in there. They realize that the cargo bay is full of crates full of explosives. They go to the main area. They see tons of mercenaries in black tactical gear and a mysterious man in black, an albino man who has a briefcase handcuffed to him. Some unbelievable fighting going on, some great action, and what ends up happening is our man in black jumps out of the plane with a parachute and hits a trigger which sets off the bombs in the plane at the last minute. Three of our heroes jump out with some help from our commando with parachutes on, and they pull the parachutes and they start to fall. It's then we realize that our commando Jack Spade took care of everybody but himself, and he had to jump out of the plane without a parachute. And that's where we're going to get started after the titles. Where do I start? Well, we have to start with a little bit of mechanics that was missed last time. So, if you watched the first episode, you learned about spotlight, and we had 3 spotlights used in the first episode. It's a very powerful thing. Everybody starts off with a spotlight. We learned that Clara can earn a spotlight as she was looking for a weakness, but as they used them, it automatically gives them an extreme success. What we forgot, let's be honest, what I forgot is that you have a 50-50 chance of losing the spotlight when you use it. So when you use your spotlight, you flip a coin, and if you flip correctly, you get to keep that spotlight. So let's start with Jack Spade. Jack Spade, it was your spotlight that saved the day to make sure that 3 of the 4 of you had parachutes and were jumping out of this exploding plane to safety. I need to find out whether you get to keep that spotlight. And you do. You recover that spotlight, so you still have a spotlight left. Clara, you had 1 spotlight, then you earned a second and used that second spotlight. Let's see if you got to keep it. Gonna have a hard time taking you out if you guys keep these spotlights. Clara's now got 2 spotlights back. Gavin didn't use a spotlight, so he's saving his. We'll have to see whether he needs to use it as he's plummeting to the Pacific Ocean. But Mello, you cleared the room in that cargo bay, taking out all of these tactical mercenaries in their black gear, and you used your spotlight to take them all out. So let's go ahead and see if you get to keep that.
Here we go. Of course not. Of course not.
Oh, well. All right. Let's start off well, in the air. Now, Clara and Mello, you have pulled your chutes. You're looking down through your feet as you're starting to float down, and you realize that you're hundreds of yards above the Pacific Ocean. You also notice a small island that is well within range of you being able to get to if you can navigate the parachutes the correct way. Mello and Clara, you both look up, and you see that you weren't in the only plane that was in the sky. One of the planes that you were in blew up, but there was a plane above it, and out comes pouring 9 other mercenaries in that same black tactical gear. 9 parachutes puff open, and we start to hear the gunfire as they are coming down to try to eliminate the 4 of you. Gavin, just like Clara and Mello, you look down, you see that ocean. You look up, you see 9 enemy parachutes. But that's not the only thing you see when you look up. Floating right by you, almost within grasp, is a steering wheel. What did you do to customize that steering wheel that makes you know for sure that that's the last you're ever going to see of your baby?
It has the starship from the Boston album in the center.
Please tell me it was hot glued on.
A single tear rolls down Gavin's cheek as he sees it spinning.
And then last but not least, Jack, you jump out, you look down, you see the same ocean, you see that same island. You look up, you see 9 parachutes. None of them are yours. As you go spread eagle to try to slow yourself down as much as possible, because you, my friend, do not have a parachute. Let's talk about what we're about to do in this scene. We have got 5 total turns before we hit the ocean. I highly recommend we hit the ocean with parachutes open. So the 3 of you need to make sure that your parachutes stay intact so that you can make it down and hopefully even get to that island safely. Jack's going to have to figure something else out. Jack is somehow going to have to slow himself down. I don't know whether he's going to abscond with a parachute or what exactly is going to happen there. But we've got 5 turns to do it. We have got mercenaries floating down. The wind is stinging against your face. Everything is so loud. It's not only windy above the ocean, but the sheer fall itself and just it's giving you wind burn on your face. You guys get your first actions. I've got 4 actions. Who wants to take the first one?
As I guess I'll start off the party since I've already used my luck roll for the day. So I see Jack fly by us, and without even thinking, I unhook myself from my parachute and fall after him, knowing that my parachute has a backup parachute on it to catch my man.
All right, so wait a second. You're falling with a parachute. You're going to unhook the first parachute so you can pick up speed, and then you're hoping that there's a second parachute in there?
I know there's a second parachute in here because this is the special paramilitary one, and it has a automatic release just in case the combatant gets knocked out. It usually releases around anywhere between 3,000 and 2,000 feet.
Boy, you're pushing me a little bit, aren't you? You know what? I think we're going to find out whether you have that backup parachute or not. But right now, what I do know is you've unhooked that thing. And now, are you trying to get down to Jack?
I'm gonna get down to him so I can so we can latch onto each other and pull the backup parachute.
All right, beautiful. So how are we going to do that? What combination of attributes and skills are you going to use?
This is going to be nerve and survival.
I love that combination. Make sure you hit shift when you click it because they come from 2 different groups.
No, they're in the same group. Nerve and survival in the same group.
Oh, they are? Okay, great. So I'm just going to need you're going to need a critical to be able to navigate and get to Jack.
Well, Jack owes me. He has a big bar tab, so I got to say it.
So we need 3 of a look. You make this game easy. Go ahead and roll that critical. That's 3 of a kind. Narrate it for me, Mello. You get down
So
there.
I look over at Clara, and I just unhook myself, and you see me go streamline, like Superman. And I see Jack as he's in the arch position, trying to slow himself as easy as possible. And I just rush into him and say, "Hey, big guy, you look like you need a lift." I can't have you going. Your bar tab is huge.
Okay, when I hear him, I'm going to try to rotate my body so that we basically hit chest to chest. That way, as soon as we make contact, I can slide my arms into his parachute straps, and hold on.
Perfect.
So I'm thinking brawn and stunt.
You don't need to roll for that. I
Okay.
think that Mello has taken care of that with that critical. So you guys are now chest to chest, cheek to cheek, literally looking and covering each other's back.
This doesn't mean we're getting married, guy.
Well, also, we still haven't pulled that cord yet either to see if we've got that parachute, but we need to move to our second action. We've got Clara, we've got Gavin, we've got Jack. We have got 9 tactical mercenaries falling down with guns ablazing. We've got debris falling everywhere from the plane that exploded above you. What are we going to do? Who's taking the next action?
I will go ahead and
Gavin.
pull my pistol from my shoulder holster and try to take a few shots at the mercenaries up above.
Excellent. So let me tell you about our mercenaries. They have 9 grit with 2 hot spots, so they have the ability to pick up 2 adrenaline themselves. Their attack is critical, so they're going to be hitting you with criticals, and their defense is critical as well. They have automatic weapons, which means on a reaction roll from an attack from them, if you don't get a basic success, you're going to become nervous. And even if you're already nervous when they hit you again, you're going to take extra grit. And then they can spend that adrenaline to counterattack on any reaction. Roger, you pull that pistol out. Gavin, sorry. You pull that pistol out, you start firing at him. What are you using? What combination of attributes and skill?
Nerves and shoot.
Nerves and shoot. You're aiming. The wind is pulling at your arm left and right, but you got a lot of targets. Let's see how you do. You just need a critical.
Let's see how it comes.
All right, so you've got a basic. Do you have anything that gives you a free reroll?
I do not.
All right, so you can do a reroll, and you're going to pick up the 2 dice you didn't pair, roll those, and if either one ends up being a heart, you're going to have a success. Otherwise, it's a total failure. Are we going to push it and reroll?
Yeah, why not? Let's push it.
Ah,
No.
So you start firing off. The shots are going. It's understandable. This has nothing to do with whether you're good with a shot or bad with a shot. You are falling out of a plane, plummeting to the Pacific Ocean. There's gunfire happening everywhere. I've got 2 more actions. Clara or Jack, who's next?
So I have a question. Since I am looking up, is there something I could do now that would basically be kind of an act of defense where I might be, instead of going up against their grit, more about trying to give us some bonuses that we can share during our defense step?
Possibly. So talk to me. What are you thinking?
So the thing I'm thinking with me and Mello is, like I said, since I can see them, then I can try to help move our body a little bit with the shift to kind of do a dodge. I know rifles. I know I can look and see where they're aiming,
Yep.
and stuff to try to figure out how to keep from being in the crossfire.
If you get a critical success, it's going to give Mello plus 2 dice on his reaction roll. How does
Okay.
that sound?
Sounds
But
good.
you do need a critical. What is the combination?
I'm thinking brawn and stunt.
All right, let's do it. We got our pair.
Okay. don't think any of my stuff would necessarily give me a free reroll, but we can go ahead and risk the regular reroll.
Here we are.
There it is.
There we go. You picked up a third skull. That gives you a critical. They're saying that the stream is choppy. My hope is that it's going to settle down. Keep me updated. If it continues to be choppy, we might have to restart the stream. All right. Remember on your next reaction roll, Mello, that you have 2 additional dice that you can use. Clara, is this the first time you've ever jumped out of a plane?
Yeah, I've read about it a lot, but it's definitely different than the books.
What are we going to do?
Is it daylight right now?
It is.
Wonderful. You know, Clara, she was a former beauty queen. She does take care of her looks. She also keeps a pocket mirror on her at all times. And so she is going to pull that out of her vest and try to use the sun to blind one of the mercenaries.
Absolutely love it. So what's the combo you're going to use? You need a critical.
We are going to use... I'm going to use my outsmart feat here so that I can use no. So this is going to be focus no.
Love it. Making sure we get the angles. We have got everything going. We've got 4 dice left. You paired 2 of your 6.
All right, we're going to re-roll that. I don't have a free re-roll. No free re-roll.
Just need another snake eye. Oh, we got 2 basic, not quite enough. So you pull the pocket mirror out. You're trying to get the angles just right. I think you are flashing them a little bit, but not enough to really deter them from being able to do what they need to do. It's time for some reaction rolls. Let's start off with where we ended the action rolls. Claire, as you're doing that, you've got flaming debris from the plane that exploded falling down. So I'm going to need a brawn stunt, a critical brawn stunt roll, where you're going to take damage from that falling debris.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You didn't even have a success for a reroll. Go ahead and add 3 grit.
Ouchie.
Take 3 grit for me. Where's that put you?
So I had 6 from last session. So now we're at 9.
Oh boy, we're getting tight. We're getting tight. All right, Gavin. You're just getting shot at. So they're attacking you, and it's less about their ability to shoot you because there's just a hail of bullets coming down. I think it's more about your ability to keep your cool and understand the angles. So I want a nerves awareness not to get hit by a bullet.
Nerves awareness. Okay. So we will do nerves awareness. Here we go. That is a critical and a basic.
That's a critical and a basic. So save that basic. In fact, you can give that basic to Clara. That'll give her her 3rd basic, which counts as a critical. She can take that damage back. Do you want to do that?
Absolutely.
You've got that extra one. You can share extras on a reaction roll. So Clara, we had you getting hit by this debris, but I need to know, what does Gavin do that saves you from taking any damage from this falling, burning piece of crate?
I think he looks up and he yells, "Duck!"
At the last minute, we see you pull the parachute barely by. It cinches you on the arm, but go ahead and reclaim that damage. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, now I've got to go to my twins, my dynamic duo. Let's start with Jack. Jack, we've got a merc that's kind of worked his way down on his chute. Now, you guys are in just generic round chutes. They're in those parasailing type chutes, those rectangular ones that are allowing them to navigate much faster and easier than you. One of them is going to swoop down. He's going to try to grab a hold of the 2 of you and grapple you. So I want you to use a smooth leadership to intimidate him and prevent him from getting his hands on you.
Sure.
Got a basic. We just need you to pair one of those.
me see how I can do.
Oh, let's see. You had one basic before. Oh, that's. Did you do free reroll?
I didn't think I did.
Oh well.
It
Anyway,
says-
you lost
it
the
says
basic.
lose, yeah, it says lose one of your successes.
Yeah, but it
When do
didn't
you
show
lose?
it. That's okay. They grab onto you. He pulls you in. Go ahead and take 3 grit damage as you get yanked
Okay.
and pulled. You're still holding on to Mellow though, so we've got a nice threesome.
Okay. So I just clicked. I just clicked one labeled bad. What does that mean?
When you on your character sheet.
Yeah,
Um,
because I already
Oh.
had grit.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about on your grit track?
Yeah.
Yes, that means you are going to have to take. All right, let's take a look. Yes, you're going to have to take a condition. I think I want to give you. Where does it have my conditions listed? Where are my conditions? They are not on here on the sheet. That's frustrating. All right, let me bring them up real quick. Hold on one second. You are going to gain. I want you to gain hurt.
Hurt.
So you're going to be -1 on all brawn rolls until you get that cleared.
All right.
Mellow,
Yo.
they are coming down. They're going to be firing on you as well. Go ahead and for me and take a. Let's have you take a. Let's just do a brawn stunt to avoid getting hit by these bullets. Hail of bullets are coming down. One of the guys has pulled you in. The 3 of you are now spinning. We have no shoot except his. Oh, go ahead, Jack.
All right,
Plus
here
2
we go.
dice for.
Plus 2 dice.
Oh, yes.
I forgot to do that. How do you
Oh,
add plus 2 dice?
all right. All right. So if you hold down shift when you click on it, it should give you the option
Okay.
to add 2 dice. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, 'cause I totally forgot.
Let's give it a fresh roll.
Plus 2 dice. All right, here we go.
Need a critical to avoid this.
It didn't roll the extra die.
All right, hold on a second here. Let's take a look here, Mellow. So I said brawn stunt. Is that what we were doing?
Yep.
All right, so that skill dice +1, +2. Okay. That is really odd. So, pro tip for
You have
everybody.
to hit +1 twice, yeah.
Did it not do that for me? All right, hold on a second. This is frustrating. Let's try one more time. Brawn stunt. +1,
Plus
+2.
2 times.
Ah, there we go.
Should be. There we go.
There we are. That's
All right.
that's why we keep gabbing around. All right, you got 2 basic. I'm in control of your reroll. Do you want to do a reroll? You got 3 dice left. You just need to pair
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let's do
definitely. There we go.
it. So not only did you do that, but you ended up with an extreme success. You essentially got 2 extra criticals. So you are not going to get hurt as they're shooting, but I need to give you a full action for those extras. What do you want to do with those extras? Do you want to get a free attack in? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a free attack in and attack the guy that is grabbing Gavin.
Yep. Or you mean
I'll-
grabbing
Jack.
you and
I'll
Jack?
Yeah.
grabbing Jack, yeah. And just give him a quick little punch in the face
Okay.
to knock him out. And
So
then
the
we'll
bullets are
ride his
flying.
shoe-
You're dodging out of the way, and you just grab him by the tactical vest, and it's just
Yeah, give him a quick shot.
let's do it.
And then I'll tell you, hey, our ride is here. All right, so I need to roll?
Yeah, how are you gonna do it? What's the combo?
Okay. We're gonna do brawn and fight.
do it. You need a critical. You got 2 basic. You just need to pair one of them.
And I'm gonna use my free reroll for martial arts.
Beautiful. Two basic use. I think you still have the option of going all in.
I'm going all in.
All right, let's do it. There it is. You got your critical. You are going to do 1 grit damage or 3 grit damage to him. That gives them an adrenaline, takes him to a hot box. You punch him in the face. He starts shaking, and all of a sudden you just see him go, and you completely knock him out. So now you've got a little bit of dead weight, but you've got dead weight with a parachute. So that's good. We're going to go into turn 2. I need 4 action rolls. Who's going first? The ground is getting closer, or I should say the ocean.
So, Mello, if you want to unhook him, then I can slide into that parachute.
Got you. Got you. All right, so here we go.
You're going to try to cut off that parachute?
Yeah, well, we're just going to unhook him
Okay.
and then let Gavin, keep calling him Gavin, let Jack climb on board.
So what are you going to use to be able to, and that you guys are spinning in the air. The 3 of you are way too much weight for his tactical parachute. Wind is blowing. You can hardly hear anything. What are you doing to try to be able to unhook that?
I'm doing nerves plus keeping my cool. So nerves and cool.
Nerves, cool. I love it. Need a critical. You like rolling 2 basics, don't you, Mello? You're almost there.
I do. I'm gonna have to re-roll. Here we go.
You like to turn that into a basic and a crit. Very, very nice. So we see the clips go clip, clip, and his body just starts to float away from the 2 of you. So you've got you with your backpack. I hope there's a parachute in there, but Jack, you've got yourself a nice tactical parachute that's grasping in your hands. That's our first action. Who's next?
So I keep the pair for someone else though, right?
No, that's only on reactions.
Okay, reactions heard. Okay.
So I guess I can go ahead and finish this off of getting into the parachute.
Beautiful. How are you going to get that thing on as you're spinning through the air?
I mean, I know I've got the hurt, but what I was planning on was, just kind of holding on with one arm, slipping the free arm, locking in, slipping other arm, clipping. So I was figuring a bronze stunt again.
Bronze stunt. Just give me a critical.
-1.
You are -1 because of the
Yes.
hurt condition. Oh, so you still have this parachute,
Yes.
but you have not been able to put it on. It's not going to be able to stop you in its current condition. You're just barely grabbing onto it. So it's going to take another action later on to be able to do that. Clara and Gavin, I've got 2 more actions left. We've got bullets flying. Gavin's got his pistol trying to shoot. Clara's trying to blind them with her mirror. What are we doing?
I'd like to use a feat of mine. Intuition lets me use as a quick action to notice a hidden detail that other people miss.
Excellent. So normally this would be a full action to be able to track down and know what their weak spot is, but you get to do it as a quick action for your feat. Let's go ahead and find out what you discover. The situation is right for a crazy stunt to work. You can take a gamble with +2. So we have not covered how gambles work. Gambles are a special type of extreme action that you can take. Potentially gives you extra rewards if you do accomplish it, but if you roll any 1s and trying to do a gamble, it's going to do 1 grit damage for each of the 1s or the little snake eyes that show up there.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have something crazy you think you can do? You're going to get 2 extra dice if you do it.
Clara, there's still debris flying around, and Clara wants to try and see if she can grab a hold of a piece of it to use as a shield.
Okay. All right. So let's have one of those mercenaries coming down, and he's bearing down with you. He's got both of his feet out, and he plans on giving you like 2 kicks to the face. One with his left foot, one with his right foot. You got a piece of paneling from the fuselage still burning from the jet fuel. You're going to try to grab it and use it to protect yourself?
Yes, because, we can't have anybody stomping on this face.
I love it. Let's do a gamble. So what you're going to do now is you're going to tell me your combination for your action.
Okay.
Someone says you should use the hood of the car.
Damn.
No. That's what we're gonna surf onto the island with.
There we go. I think for this, what makes sense is to use brawn, but I think with dexterity, because she's going to have to grab onto it.
All right. And then when you do that, hit that +1 twice. So you're going to hold down shift, and then you'll hit the +1 twice. We've learned from Dr. Roger. And that should give you the 2 extra dice. Let's hope we get no ones.
Okay.
Look at all those dice. We got ourselves a basic and a critical. None of them are the snake eyes, so this gamble does not do any damage to you. You are going to go ahead and do 3 damage to them. Now, they're going to use their adrenaline, and they're going to go ahead and use their counter on you. After a hero is dealt a blow, the enemy quickly counters with a sharp blow. The hero loses the same amount of grit as the enemy. So you were also going to take 3 grit.
All right. At this point, I have now hit one of the bad on my grit. So.
Ooh, all right. So we need to give you a condition as well. Now, you healed yourself from the ones we took before, right?
Yes, that goes back.
Okay, good. Let's narrate what happens, and then I'll decide what condition you get. So you pull this down. You're able to hurt him pretty good with this piece of debris, but you end up hurting yourself just as bad. Tell me what happens.
I think she's gonna grab it, and his feet are coming straight at her face. She's like, "Not the moneymaker," and she's gonna actually kind of use it to push his feet away, and they're gonna bend at a bad angle. He definitely broke an ankle there.
Okay.
But in the process of that, I think she's gonna hit herself in the head.
So all of this to protect your face, and I'm imagining he hits it hard, bonk, right into your forehead. I'm going to give you the condition, look like a fool. You're going to be -1 to all smooth rolls until you get that taken care of. So jot
That's
down
rough.
that you have got like a fool, -1 to all smooth rolls. All right, Gavin.
Gavin, seeing his ineffectual pistol work, is now just going to try to steer the parachute for the island, get to the ground as quick as possible. Looks like Mello's got Jack in hand, and I'd rather find a place to hide on the island than up here in the sky.
If you can give me a critical, you'll get there before the man in black. He is below you. But if you can give me a critical success here, I'll let you catch up with him. So you'll get there at the same time he does.
Plus drive.
One more time.
Nerves plus drive.
I'm good with that.
Perfect. Let's see how it goes.
Basic. Can you pair either one of them with that extra die?
We're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I sure can.
Nice.
So
I sure can.
our man in black with his expensive parachute, his perfectly tailored black suit, his colorless eyes and white hair flowing in the wind. He's got the briefcase shackled to his wrist. He jumped out a good 2 or 3 or 4 seconds before the 4 of you jumped out. He's been way ahead of you, hasn't even bothered to look up. He knows that he's going to be able to get to this island before any of you guys and just pop you out of the sky, floating down. And all of a sudden he looks off to his left and we see Gavin drops in. Do you have anything to say to the man in black? All right. Let's do some reactions. I'm going to do my first reaction.
Speaking of reactions, I almost think he deserves a adrenaline, because I'm pretty sure some of that drink went up your nose.
I agree. I added adrenaline for me, Gavin. I I completely agree. All right, that's the good news is you've gotten adrenaline. The bad news is I'm going to have the man in black attack you. He is
Okay.
going to pull out his Walther PPK and try to shoot you. And I want
Oh, of
you to
course.
use a brawn stunt to avoid it. The problem is his attack is too critical. So you're going to need 2 criticals to avoid getting shot by the man in black.
I think it's spotlight time.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead.
Spotlight.
Before we mark the spotlight, that's going to give you an automatic extreme success. That's going
Mhm.
to give you an extra critical to hand to somebody else as they're doing their reactions. What are you going to do to avoid what heroic, huge spotlight moment are we seeing here as you avoid getting shot by the man in black?
We're coming down toward the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his parachute. He's gliding down. I think I'm gonna unhook, tackle him, and the 2 of us hit the island. You know, not at full speed, but
So
bone rattling hard.
I have to say, getting ready for today's session, I was, really concerned that this was going to be too much for my heroes. Is Jack going to get his parachute? I never anticipated 2 of my heroes unhooking themselves from parachutes. that was
What you
not
gotta
in
do.
that was not in the GM prep session that I did before this. All right, so Raj, you grab right onto him. What the hell are you doing? And you guys are rolling together. The parachute is barely carrying the 2 of you as you head down together. You have an extra critical to use for a reaction. So that is Gavin.
And then click my spotlight to see if
Click
I
your spotlight,
keep
see if you keep it.
Hey.
There you go. You kept
Be a lady.
it. Very, very nice. Let's do this. Clara, I think we're gonna need a brawn stunt from you because my man is not very happy. He pulls himself over this piece of fuselage that is there, and he's trying to punch you over that. So I need a brawn stunt for you to avoid that.
Well, here's the thing. Clara is not very good at fighting, but she does know how to use people's weaknesses against themselves. She says she's still holding on to this piece of shrapnel. I would like to propose I can use my outsmart and use focus no instead for this because she's going to use the shrapnel and she's going to take the piece and twist it between his arms and then twist it back so that he can't get anywhere.
I love it. He has latched himself onto this piece of fuselage, and you're realizing, oh, wait a minute, I'm holding this thing, and you're going to rotate him to prevent him from hitting you. Let's do it.
Okay.
You need a critical. Basic, but you got 4 dice.
Okay, I can definitely reroll this. We're going to get the critical. Speaking this into existence.
There we go. Woo!
Well, there's not quite a critical in a basic, but it's definitely 5 dice at the top.
Well,
well.
5 of a kind.
Yahtzee.
That's impossible. So let's go through the chain. There's basic. 3 basics make a critical. 3 criticals make an extreme, which is 9 basics. And then that's 27 basics make an impossible, which is what you just rolled. You are, I need you to think for a second. 1, pick up a spotlight, add a spotlight. That's unbelievable.
many thanks.
And I need an epic moment because you're about to do something, Clara, that's going to clear the skies. All of these enemies, these men are floating down, they're attacking different people, and there's something that Clara does that takes them all out.
Ooh.
And let's think about it. You used what? You used what did you use with your no?
She was using
it
the physics
was-
of the moving around the
Yeah.
That was
piece
my.
of debris.
Anybody got any ideas? You want to help her out? What is-
So I was thinking with the shrapnel, since you already figured out the angle with the trying to align them with the mirror,
Yeah.
that you twist the one guy off and it cuts his cords on his parachute and he plummets to his death, right? But then you figured it out and then you throw the rest like Captain America
Yeah.
and frisbee it out to him, and it just for some strange reason they're all lined up perfectly, and you cut through all their cords.
I love that.
And you
That's
see
perfect.
It's raining men. It's
The only
raining
thing-
men. Hallelujah.
The only thing I'm
Raining
going
men.
to add, if it's okay, Claire, is I'm going to have you realize that the rivets are weak out, so you're able to break it into like two pieces and just send them out at the perfect angle. And we just see shots of the shing, and just parachutes flipping away, and our guys in their nice tactical gear, free falling into the ocean.
Clara, after seeing what she just did, is just going shit, 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 shit.
That straight up ends the action scene. The only thing we have got left is I mean, that was incredible. We've got Gavin and the Man in Black hitting the island. Several yards away, we're starting to see the other three of you float down, and your feet hit the soft sand of this tiny isolated island. I think I have to
Told you I
go.
had a backup shoot.
Yeah, I think I have to go to Gavin. Gavin, you're going to get the first action. You got the Man in Black there. Let me give you some information on our friend here. He has got 6 grit, which isn't much. His defense is critical, but he's got several feats. One of his feats is hard to kill, which despite taking on hard blows, the enemy never folds. He's got a hot box. Every other grit, when he hits a hot box, it stops any excess damage. So depending on where he is, the most he can take is 2 damage. So he takes a little bit to be taken out. But you guys roll on the sand. He's there. You're a couple yards away from him. He's got the briefcase in his hand. He just quick releases the parachute and he's starting to stand up. It's your action.
Ooh, boy. I will merely point at the other parachutes descending upon the island, and
In the background, we see bodies hitting the ocean.
right. Give it up, man. This is not going to go well for you.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at smooth speech.
Smooth speech or smooth leadership? Are you trying to intimidate him or are you trying to convince him? Which way are you going?
Trying to convince him.
Okay, smooth speech. I'm going to need a critical.
Okay. Let's see what we can do.
You got a basic and a critical. So that is going to go ahead and mark 2 grit on him. That's going to be it's a measure of everything, right? It's hit points, his resolve, everything. He's a third of the way there. He stands up and he holds the case close to his chest and he goes, "Just you? You can do nothing against me." And he starts taking off into the jungle itself. All right. Who's next for my next action?
I think we gotta let Yahtzee girl go.
Yeah.
Clara, you land. Luckily nobody sees because it's not the prettiest landing in the world. But as soon as someone looks at you, you're up and perfect and the parachute is off. You see Gavin yelling at the Man in Black as he takes off towards the jungle.
I'm gonna have to start running after him.
All right. How are you going to catch up to him? How are you going to get to him?
I think she's gonna take a moment to look at the trees and in the jungle here and see if she can find a course. The camera kind of like zooms in and it's like a fisheye lens and she's like looking through jungle before she's actually in it.
Well, the vegetation's a little bit heavy there. If I go there, he's walking into this, and the sand there is a lot thicker, right? All right.
And if I can get higher ground, then I can.
I love it. So what are we going to use?
I'd like to again use my smart and focus.
Hey,
No.
That's the beauty of the feat, right? That's your character. Your character is the smartest person on this crew, and she's going to use her brains to get the upper hand. So what's our combination?
All right, that's going to be focus. No.
Focus, no. Need a critical?
Okay, here.
Boy, you just make this so easy.
Phew.
We
Ain't
see
nothing but
him.
party.
We see the man in black finally get into the jungle. He's sweeping away at all the underbrush as he's starting to work his way in, and he turns to avoid hitting a rock. And Clara is standing right there. What do you say to him? You beat him there.
Claire's going to look him up and down and go, I think you have something on your wrist that I need.
So we see him, and his resolve is going down. He goes in and takes another grit, but it gets him to another hot box. He's got 3 adrenaline now. He looks at you. He looks back and realizes that Gavin's likely right behind him. He's pretty sure that the old man commando and that big burly dude is probably landing here pretty soon. Things are not looking great for him. So he's going to go ahead and use one of his special actions. He's going to spend 2 adrenaline to use threats. The enemies threaten the heroes with their words or actions to do something so sadistic and reckless that they leave them shocked. Heroes who fail a critical reaction roll on nerves plus cool lose 1 adrenaline. So he turns to you, Claire, and he goes, do you think the only explosives I have were on the plane? Let me have a critical nerves plus cool, or you're going to lose an adrenaline.
I think I'm going to use one of my spotlights here.
Oh, okay.
Because
Now,
there's not a lot of dice.
Here's a question for you. You may want to save it for a
Okay.
reaction or an action roll, because the only thing you could lose here is an adrenaline.
Okay.
So that's, but I love that you're anxious to use that spotlight. That's good.
Well, I got a couple now, so.
You do have a handful. Yeah, definitely be liberal about it when you start getting attacked or when you start acting, for sure.
Okay, fair enough. Nerves cool.
Nerves cool, or he's going to shake you up. All right, so I need you to add a second condition for me.
Okay,
He's going to make you scared,
got it.
and that is going to put you -1 to all crime rolls until you get that taken care of. All right, who's next? Gavin is gone. Clara is gone. I've got Jack and Mello. Who's up?
I'll
I'll
go
let
ahead
the
and
old
go.
man go. Yeah.
So
All right.
once I hit, I'll drop the parachute. Last session, I mentioned that my gun was on strap, so I'm going to grab my rifle. And seeing that the albino is right next to Claire and I don't want to shoot at her, I'm going to yell at him, drop the suitcase now. And so I'm going to try to use leadership to intimidate him.
Love it.
And I'm going to spend 1 adrenaline to get an extra die on this roll.
Perfect. Gun bearing down. He's in your sights. You're telling him to drop it. Things aren't looking good for the man in black. He's got Claire on one side of him, Gavin tracing after him. He is severely out. Oh my God. That was harder than doing anything. That was rolling 5 different values.
There's nothing for that. There's nothing for that. I got a handful of nothing.
I think just as you're saying that, he notices that one of the palm leaves kind of completely blocks your view, and he's like, not going to worry about him at all. Mello.
Yes, sir. All right. I glide my parachutes more into the jungle where they're standing
Yeah.
and land like right next to them. Do my best to land right next to them. Hit the trees, get hung up in a tree, unhook, and just drop down next to them. Slight superhero pose.
I like the idea that you go down there, but you get caught like 15 feet above everybody, and you unclip and just drop out of the sky.
right, here we go. I'm doing brawn and stunt.
Brawn and stunt. That's a critical. That's what he needed. That's 2 damage. Takes him to another hot box. He gets a second adrenaline. He's only got 1 grit left. It is his reactions, though. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to share the love. He is going to take a shot at you, Mello. He turns and you hit him. Knock him down. You see some blood, and it's especially like red against his pale white skin. Pulls back, and you see a glint of the brass knuckles that he's got built into his gloves as he pulls back and takes a shot at you. It's a 2 critical attack. I need a brawn stunt for you to avoid getting hit in the face.
So I need to roll what?
2 criticals.
Critical or 2 critical?
2 criticals. His attack is
That's
2
what
criticals. If you're not rolling 6 dice, you're in trouble.
I'm not rolling 6 dice.
Okay. so
so
got
now I
some
need an
options here.
extreme.
Well, yep, 4 of a kind will get you there, right? The other thing is you've got adrenaline and you've got spotlights.
I have no adrenaline. I have no spotlight.
Or you have neither of those things.
No one has. Right.
All right, we're looking for 4 of a
All right,
kind
here we
there,
go.
Mello, or we're going to take 6 damage.
4 of a kind. 6. That's going to be brutal. Ooh.
All right, you've paired. Now,
Gotta re-roll it.
before you do anything, because of that pair, the 6 damage is going to go down to 5 damage. But if you risk this and re-roll and don't improve it, then you're going to lose it. Now, if you improve it, let's say that you get a second pair, that's going to be an additional damage that you're going to save against. If you manage to get a critical, that's going to be 3 of the 6 damage taken care of. What do you want to do here?
Question: does anyone have that critical still saved up?
And I don't think from
You're
a
the first
reaction.
one to react.
Yeah, you're the first reaction.
Oh, okay. 5 will take me to 11 because I already got 6. We'll just roll. We'll just do the re-roll, sir.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Very nice. You improve that to a critical. You're only going to take 3 damage as those brass knuckles hit you across the jaw. Does that take you to a black box?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You're also going to be hurt. So add hurt condition, and that's going to be -1 to all brawn rolls until you get rid of it.
All right.
And we'll talk at the end of the scene. We'll talk about how you guys can get rid of these conditions.
Hurt.
All right. As he gets done punching you, he's going to try to push you away, Allie, and kind of like throw your body up against the rocks. I'm going to need a brawn stunt for you to avoid falling down and hurting yourself as you get pushed by him. And I think, are either of your conditions affecting brawn?
No, they are not. But I am going to use the spotlight here because
This is a good
that
idea.
extra critical
All right.
can help out.
So, spotlight gives you an extreme success. So it automatically gives you 3 criticals. You need 2 of them to stop getting hurt, and you're going to save a critical that you can then hand off to either one of your mates here. So he's punches Mello, shoves you. Why do you not get hurt when he shoves you away?
Because there is actually a palm tree that is just about a foot behind me, and I've dug my heel into the sand and flattened my foot against it, so I've braced myself against the tree. So when he tries to push me, I'm actually gonna wrap my arm around his and pull him down instead.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So let's save that critical. Go ahead and roll that spotlight for me. Let's flip it and see if you keep it.
Come on now.
All right. You did not lose it. That is excellent. As he goes to shove, he is now going to take a shot at you, Jack Spade. I think it's going to be a brawn stunt for you as well. And if I remember correctly, you have a condition that puts you at -1 brawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that gets me down to 4 dice. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to spotlight as well.
All right, so the gun starts firing. You
Yeah.
also are going to have an extra critical that you can hand off to Gavin. So we've got 2 criticals that Gavin has at his disposal
Yeah.
here. How are you
So as
not
soon as-
getting hit by the
I was gonna
bullets?
say, as soon as I see him whipping the pistol in my direction, I'm hitting the deck. So he shoots over me.
Perfect. Bullets go flying above it. We see foliage getting shredded by the bullets. I mean, you guys might as well use spotlights every time. You get them right back again on the 50-50. So, and I don't think you hit the deck as much as you get in a much better tactical position right behind a log with your rifle. You are armed and ready. Gavin, the bullets are also flying towards you in your direction. I need a brawn stunt from you. 2 criticals. We've got 2 criticals floating out there, so there's not a whole lot of...
I'm gonna roll it.
Let's do it. All right, you got your basic.
I'll just take those 2 criticals.
So, I have got Clara getting him off kilter by grabbing the arm that he was going to shove her with. We've got Jack keeping him distracted by getting down into some cover so the bullets are flying. I need the 3 of you to explain to me how this saves Gavin from getting hit by some bullets. Who has ideas?
Gavin is he's one of those guys who just like luck things just happen to him. So he goes to point his gun and at Gavin, and as soon as he shoots, like a coconut just falls down from the tree.
From the tree
And
that
it
Claire
takes
was
the
bracing
bullet.
up against.
I love
Yeah, right.
we see the coconut go right by his head, and the bullet goes flying through the coconut, and the coconut explodes, milk out everywhere. Roger, or Gavin's just got coconut milk splattered along the side of his face. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, here's our situation. We are in the jungle. Bullets are flying everywhere. Punches are being thrown. Our man in black only has 1 grit left. His defense is critical. Who's going to take the first action?
Oh, that's going to be Mello because I don't want nobody hitting me with the brass knuckles. That's just dirty
All right.
pool. All right, so I'm doing brawn plus fights at -1.
At -1 because of the condition.
Right.
Got you a basic. I need you to pair one of those.
All right. And I'm going to do the free reroll because I
Oh, for
have
martial arts.
martial arts.
Nice. So you're not risking that basic. Very nice. All right. So you take a swing at a mellow, but he throws the briefcase up just in time, and you end up punching a huge dent inside of that black leather briefcase that he's holding on to. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
So-
You're down on your knees, Jack?
Yep, while he's got the briefcase up, I'm going to take the shot.
Let's do it.
So center mass clear. That will be nerve shoot.
Just need a critical. It's a lot of dice.
Alrighty.
Oh, 2
Now-
basic.
I do have marksman, and I'm using a rifle, so I do get a free reroll.
Excellent free reroll. You're not risking those 2 basics.
There it is.
There it is.
Basic
Hey.
and your critical. You're going to take them out. You're not. We don't kill people in this game.
Yeah.
So how do we take them out?
So when it goes up, I start to go center mass, and then at the last moment, I drop down and I shoot him in the thigh. And so he ends up dropping with a wounded leg.
Comes down. He's holding his leg. He's got his hand over it. Blood is seeping through his fingers. He's basically at the knees of Mello and Gavin and Clara as we see Jack stand up and start walk towards him.
Nice shot, Jack.
Yeah. Hey, Worm, is it true that albinos tend to be hemophilic?
You know what? That is true. I did read that recently. This might not be so good for him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you anything. and he's holding onto the briefcase, and you can see the handcuffs, and he seems pretty confident about these handcuffs.
That's they always say that before the meeting commences. I go stand on his leg with the whole.
You
They
put your
always
foot
say
down.
that.
You put your
Put
foot down
his
on
foot
his
down
leg.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's in my jacket. No.
Oh, okay. See, always.
That was quick.
See what I say? Yeah.
Mello
Yeah,
didn't
this,
even have to get angry.
Right. So dig his key out. And so what do you know about this Project Medusa? And first of all, who are you?
None of your business. I don't know
They
anything, and this
always say
isn't
that.
Medusa. And he's trying to hold it back from you as you're undoing his handcuffs, and you rip the briefcase out from him. Oh my God! Be careful with that.
Hey,
Start
Claire,
talking.
this may be on your side of the alley here. Toss
Claire's-
you over the briefcase.
All right, she'll take the briefcase. She puts it up to her ear. She's gonna listen to hear if there's any ticking.
No ticking,
Not ticking. All right,
but it's heavy.
that's a decent sign. Is there a lock on the briefcase itself?
There is. It's one of those TSA safe 3-number locks.
Oh, wonderful. Clara read about a trick on how to figure out the combination. It's just using math and just a little bit of luck.
So in this system that you have studied, it systematically allows you to figure out a 3-number combination code. What's the first 3 numbers you put in as part of the sequence to try?
So the first numbers that you need to put in are going to be a 1, a 3, and a 5 prime numbers.
1, 3, 5, click.
In her head, she's like, thank God that worked. This makes me look so cool.
Everybody's looking at her like,
Claire.
what the hell? Are you psychic? What?
I'm the brains for a
She's good.
reason.
Yeah.
She's going to kind of hold it
Glad
out
you're on
from
our-
her
Glad you're on our
as she
side.
opens it, though, slightly. Gingerly.
You hold it out from you, Pulp Fiction style, and we see the lid of the briefcase lift up. The other 3 guys are kind of standing, trying to get a view to what's in there, but you see it immediately, Clara. Big red brick. And on it is a Post-it note with a smiley face. Handwritten, nice try. Signed, Stamos. Clara, you know only one Stamos that could be tied up and involved with this Project Medusa. It's hard to believe, but it has to be Konstantin Stamos, the international philanthropist. He's the only one that could possibly share that name and be wealthy enough to be involved with Project Medusa. Somehow, our 4 heroes are going to have to figure out where Konstantin is and what the hell is going on with Project Medusa. We're going to give them some time to think about it. Let's take a 10-minute break. All right. So something that's kind of unique about this game is scene to scene to scene. So unlike some RPGs where we're going to play out a lot of different things, there is, we do play out scenes here, but it's definitely built around these action sequences. So the next scene we're going to cut to is that the four of you are landing in a private plane at the location where Stamos is currently located in the world. But before we do that, we've got to get two things figured out. One, how do you get this information out of our man in black? He only knows where Stamos is. He does not know anything more about Project Medusa. And two, how the hell do these four of you get off this island?
Well, besides standing on his gunshot wound, and I see that he still has a little fight into him. There's that little nerve right here that I can crank up. You know, one is likes, two is like the three will make you shit yourself. And we start playing with that pressure point there.
Excellent. That definitely gets him primed. Who pushes him over the edge, though, makes him spill the beans?
I think Gavin plays the good cop to Mello's bad cop. I can get him to stop, but only if we have some information. That's the only way he's going to stop. I mean,
Wait. Remember, this is the guy who blew up your gremlin. Are you sure you want Miller to stop?
He did blow up your gremlin.
I didn't know that you were going to put the car in the plane when I blew it up.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you're not
I'm
helping.
just going to shoot you. Those two are going to be a lot worse than that.
So
And it had my new shirt in there.
he spills the beans. I was set to distract you. We got word that Carter had hired the four of you again, and my job was only to take you off the set. You weren't supposed to catch me. You were supposed to fly to a whole nother part of the world chasing me. And I don't know anything about Project Medusa, but I can tell you where Stamos is. And he tells you he's on the coastal island of Mykonos in Greece. One of the most lavish resort islands in all of the world. Only the richest of the rich, the elite of the elites, can afford to be there. So the four of you are going to be headed to Mykonos, Greece. But how are we going to get off this island?
Well, I searched through his stuff. He's got to have a sat phone.
He definitely has a sad phone. Question is, who are you going to
Gotta have a
call?
sat.
I got that. I know a guy. I'm going to use my feet. I'll make a phone call. You have a contact, a friend, or a favor, you can call in. Call one of your contacts asking for a piece of information, a favor, a ride, or up to 3 cash. You gain whatever you asked for during the next time out.
So what are you getting picked up in? And who's behind the wheel or the stick or the motor?
It's a seaplane. I sold this guy front row tickets to Metallica at the Pontiac Dome, and he's owed me ever since. And now it's time to call him that favor. And he just blares Metallica in the cabin of the plane the entire time.
Nice.
So let's now cut to the four of you via Carter, who turned out got some attention. He's fine. He reaches out to you guys and arranges for you to be flown to Mykonos in one of his private planes. You land on this lavish island. We're now going to go into what's called timeout. So in timeout, each of you have 2 activities that you can do as we prepare for the next scene. And to give you an idea, we know that Stamos is somewhere on the island. We don't know where. We know very little a bit about this Project Medusa, but we know that it's some sort of weapon. We've also got some conditions that we need to consider as well. So let me go through your options. Each of you get to pick 2 of these, and it could be the same one twice. You can do investigating, which is using an action to make headway on an investigation. Two big questions is what is Project Medusa and where the hell is Stamos? You've got healing. You can use a downtime action to get rid of one condition. I said downtime, it's timeout. It's very similar to downtime in Blades of the Dark, though. Fixing, you can use an action to repair something or restore some armor to a ride. Don't even think about it, Gavin. The gremlin's gone.
It'll buff
You-
out.
You can go shopping. You can use an action to buy guns and gear, provided that they have access to someone who sells them. And last but not least, working. You use one or more actions to do anything that requires time. For example, cracking a password or going somewhere in particular. I've already have you at Mykonos. So each of you have 2 full actions. Carter has gotten you set up at a lavish hotel. Each of you have your own suite. Who wants to take their first timeout action, and what are we going to do?
Sure. So I want to take my first one. And because I think Clara's probably better at investigation, I'm going to go over to her and say, hold still for a moment. This might hurt a little bit. And then I am going to put her nose back in where it got dislocated in the fight. And so that should remove her like a fool condition for a
Let's
heal.
do it. All right. So Jack uses his first condition to do a little TLC work on Clara. Clara, you can clear that like a fool condition. You are no longer -1.
Oh, shit, Jack. You're supposed to wait till 3.
Yeah, but you always jerk at 3.
Who's next?
Okay, I'm just going to rest because, that brass knuckle, as much as I hate to admit it, that hurt like a son of a bitch. And I like to remove my condition hurt.
All right. So set the scene for me. Let's have you in your hotel room at this lavish 3-room suite. How are you getting rid of that condition? How are you healing up?
With whiskey.
Okay.
Not cucumber slices
Whiskey
on
and
the eyes.
Whiskey and the young lady.
So as she's putting her clothes back on, we hear a knock at the door.
Hello. I go to the door. Got my pistol in my hand.
You open up the door
Crack it
and
open.
it's one of the waiters, and he's got a tray with a selection of whiskeys on it, and goes, "Sir, we only have so many bottles left."
It's fine. I'll just give me this one here, and it's Johnny Walker Blue. It's all right. Put it on Carter's tab.
Oh, yeah, of course, sir. Of course.
Yeah.
All right, I need
Thank you.
timeout action from Clara and a timeout action from Gavin.
I figure that Carter has hooked up our suite with an array of computers that
He's
Gavin
hooked up
is
your
going
suite.
Yes. Gavin's going to use to try to get some information on Stamos's activities here in Mykonos.
Can we please make this the classic 90s, like multi-screen? Everything's got like funky graphics,
Absolutely.
matrix things dribbling down each one of the screens. Gavin.
Feels good to be back.
All
Good to
right.
be back
So
in my element.
what is our attribute and skill that we're going to use to try to get some information? Now, are we being specific? We're trying to figure out stuff about Stamos, or we're trying to figure out stuff about Project Medusa?
Yeah, Stamos specifically. What is he doing on the island? Is he like having some like fancy dinners or something like that? I am going to use crime plus awareness.
The more successes, the bigger your success, the more info I will get you.
Perfect. Let's roll it.
That is a damn good start. That is a basic and a critical.
Critical.
You can risk that basic and roll one more die to try to improve it, or we can stay where we are and not risk that basic.
Now, I do have Hacker, your computer wizard. No firewall can stop you. Gain a free reroll on all rolls about computers to hack a system or bypass IT security measures.
Let's do it.
So I'm just going to pop that bad
Free
boy.
reroll.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Bang, bang, bang. Give it all up, Craig. Give it up.
I have
Right.
his mother's maiden name.
That's a
His,
basic and an
DM pin.
extreme. I gotta make this game harder. All right. So we see you start typing away. Where do you think you would start your investigation? What is the path as we're trying to figure out what Stamos could be involved in and where he could be on this island?
Well, we do know that he is a international philanthropist, and philanthropists love to brag about how cool they are and how much good they're doing. So start with all the public information, and then use those connections to dig up more and more dirt on what he doesn't want people to know about what he's doing.
So let's do the easy thing. Let's take that basic success and let's turn that into you just in seconds combing all of the public information, cross-referencing all of the gossip sites, all of the different news sites, online reservations, everything's being coalesced. We're seeing electronic green dots being connecting things and pictures automatically for you, and it's all just being downloaded to your big computer brain. You very quickly, for that basic success, you figure out that the ultra rich philanthropist Konstantin Stamos is holding an exclusive party in Mykonos to unveil Project Medusa, a new miracle universal medicine. But you can't figure out when and where because it's an exclusive invitation only party. You're going to have to go deeper. This is just the easy stuff. We're going to have to start tapping into that extreme if you want to get some more information. Where are you going to go to next?
So my next route would be, who is he hiring for the party? Caterers, DJs, technical equipment, rentals, security, any potential inroads through those avenues.
As a suggestion, you might check armored cars and you might check jewelers to see if he's running a bunch of jewelry for people to wear at his party.
Yeah, so you're looking at all the vendor information, right, Gavin, trying to see if there's anything connection, tying it up. You start searching through it. There's no connection. Stamos's name is nowhere, but you start to make some connections. You start seeing a certain pseudonym being used, hiring all of these different vendors, caterers, security, armored cars, jewelers, and you're able to figure out the party is at a villa on one of the cliffs of Mykonos, and it's tomorrow night. It is invitation only with biometric invitations. That uses half of your extreme. You've got one more bit of information I'm willing to give you. What do you want to know?
Are there contract security, or does Stamos have private security?
I'll give this as a freebie. It's going to be a mixture of both. So he's got his own private elite security team that always travels with him, and it's always with him at each of the locations wherever he's staying in his dozens of homes around the world. But because of the sensitivity of this, he's also hired a security firm to help with the outside perimeter, the grounds of the villa, and things like that.
Okay, so that was a freebie.
That's a freebie.
Can I get?
You got an impossible.
Can I get us credentials for, let's say, the catering service with what I have left over? Or is that
Yeah,
a
you start
separate?
digging into the catering service, you realize that what he whether he realizes it or not, he's hired a contractor. And what the contractor is going to do is actually hire multiple different catering firms, skimming some nice profit off of the top of that fee that he's charging him. And you can see him ordering like a fake logo uniforms to make them all look like they work for the same firm, and you're able to create a fake catering company that gets swept up into the hiring. So this catering company only has 4 employees. All
Love it.
right, Clara, talk to me about your first timeout action.
Well, I guess I need to go and get us some cater waiter uniforms now.
Okay, going to do some shopping.
It's some retail therapy.
So I do want you to montage this for me because I have a feeling it's not all you're going to be buying. So you end up with custom made, exclusive, multi-threaded aprons and uniforms for what is who's going to name our catering company?
Oh,
I think Schmello
we'll just
should.
use mine. I got the dishes.
That's the name of it. I got the dishes.
Yeah, I got the dishes. Yeah,
I got the dishes
definitely.
catering. And in the chat, we're going to use this. The logo that you decided on is a blue gremlin.
Man, just really twisting that knife.
Oh, damn.
You know,
All right.
this is
so
like a
let's-
member of our family. A member of our
Let's talk
family.
about our situation. We've all used one of our 2 timeout actions. We have healed both Mello and Clara. We have done some serious hacking to figure out that Stamos owns a villa up on one of the cliffside areas of Mykonos, where at some point tomorrow night he's holding a party there. We've secured and been hired as caterers for this party, and we've got some fancy new uniforms for that. And all of you still have another action downtime or timeout action to go. Who wants to use their second one?
Sure. I'll use my second one to heal myself.
So what was your condition?
I had hurt.
All right. So how are we going to get rid of that, do you think, Jack?
So I figure, this is a luxury resort because there is no such thing as non-luxury resort on this island, which means I have a nice big soak tub, and I'm going to take a nice bubble bath and just relax. Warm water, get all the kinks out of the muscles.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and remove that condition. Incidentally, just so you know, whenever we finish the scene, and we go into timeout, everybody's grit clears. So everybody clear out all your grit.
Oh, okay.
You have no, that's all taken care of automatically for you. All right. Jack has used both of his timeout actions. I've got 3 more to be used. Who's going to use their second one?
I'm
You
going
want me to go over the options again?
I'm going shopping.
Ooh, Mello's going to go.
Yeah, I'm going shopping.
What are you going to pick up there, Mello?
So, some nice little sidearms and a pair of nice Thai fighting sticks that I can tuck underneath the catering jacket. And we're supplying the servingware, the dishes, the spoons. So I'm setting up getting that delivered in a box truck.
Beautiful. All right. So that's going to be one action, but there's a problem. I don't think you've ever been to Mykonos before, Mallow. You don't know where you can pick up this type of illicit stuff. Unlike the United States, there's gun control laws here in Greece. Finding this type of thing is going to be difficult. If only you knew somebody who has connections to the underworld. And we hear a knock at Gavin's door.
Well, hey, Gavin, my man, we're going
Opens
to need
the
some
door,
extra
like,
stuff. Really
bloodshot
sorry.
eyes.
Your
He's
car.
been on a 12-hour, hacking bender. Just like looks at you like, what?
Dude, listen, I'm gonna need some connections. I need to get some. We need to get some weapons, and I need to. We need to get a box truck, and we need to get all this. You know, we're supplying all the dishes, plates, silverware, glasses. So we need all that. But
Gavin
more
walks
importantly, we need
over
weapons.
to the mini fridge, pulls out a can of Jolt Cola, cracks it, cranks up the stereo system. I'm on it, boss.
My man.
All right. So Gavin is able to track down an illicit arms dealer, as well as one of the finer providers of culinary equipment here in Mykonos. Turns out they both operate out of the same shop, so that works out well. You have to go to the front door for the dishes, the back door for the guns.
Right, right,
All right. Both Gavin
right.
and Clara have their second timeout left.
Clara's going to heal herself because she has a second condition she needs to get rid of.
What is your second condition?
So it's scared.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I think
And
scared has a specific way you need to get rid of it. So let me look it up
Okay.
here real quick. So you can remove this condition by facing the subject of your fear again and being victorious. Alternatively, you can spend one of your actions during a timeout to confide in one of your friends and get the weight off your chest. So how did we get scared? Do you remember what happened?
it was the threat of there being more explosives on the island from
Ah,
the man in black.
so what is, set the scene for me, Clara. How are we going to get rid of this condition?
I think that Jack is going to hear a couple soft raps on his door.
Okay, I'll wrap a towel around me and open the door, or open the door, a little bit.
Please tell me you have a towel over your hair.
Well, I was thinking around the waist, but I guess I can have one around my
Well,
hair.
I would like both if we could. Not either or, Jack.
There's
It's a
multiple
luxury
towels.
resort. There's probably a fluffy robe.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll probably put on a robe before I actually open the door with a towel around my head. What's up?
Well, you look comfortable.
Well, great soak tub.
I'll definitely have to check that out in my room.
In my room.
Can I borrow 10 minutes of your time? And she holds up 2 beer bottles in her hand.
Sure.
She'll come over and sit in the desk chair in the room and just you can't tell anybody about this, all right?
Okay. You know me.
I know. So you know how I've got those nightmares.
Yeah.
And I know I've been working through them and everything has been going well, but I think that today may have unlocked a new one. That the albino man, he mentioned these explosives. He said we're on the island, and it caught me off guard. The idea that something was out of my control,
I understand.
and I just can't get that out of the back of my mind that there's something's gonna go wrong and blow up in our faces.
Yeah. Look, that's the nature. You're the brains. It's your job to think about it. It's my job to be the paranoid one. So I you've gotten us out of enough scrapes. I trust that you'll figure it out. And if not, don't worry. I'll be more paranoid than you will, and I'll have your back.
I know that you've had my back since day one, and
Jack, what do you remind Clara of that makes her remember that she can get you guys out of anything? What happened in the past at one point that you remind her of that finally clears this condition?
So, we were doing a mission, and it was, basically we were pinned down. There was a sniper out there. I couldn't get a clear shot. The sniper very clearly had a clear shot. Um, we thought we were done with, and she pulled out her little mirror and figured out where. I couldn't even. It was a professional sniper rifle. They had the anti glare, so I couldn't see the scope. But she figured out where that person was, and she blinded them long enough with that little mirror that we could get out of there. You know, and there's no way I could have gotten out of there if she hadn't have been there. So, you know, I know, even times are tight, and we're definitely facing death. That your brain's still working, and you'll figure a way out.
You're right. I feel better. I think I need to go read something now.
I understand.
All right, go ahead and clear that condition for me, Clara. Gavin, I think we've got you with the last action.
So I think I'm gonna try to see what I can dig up on this Medusa thing.
Ooh, we're going to do some poking around on Project Medusa.
Yeah, knowing now that it's got some ties to medicine, maybe see if I can't chase that trail.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm going to say, Gavin, is you've exhausted what you can do online. So I think we're going to have you get the hell out of this hotel and get to the streets. And luckily, I
Okay.
get the impression that Gavin's also pretty slick dealing with some of the darker corners of any part of this world. So
Oh,
as you're trying to uncover information about Project Medusa, how are you going to do this, and what's going to be your attribute and skill combination?
So, Mykonos, place of the rich and famous. Rich and famous love their recreational drug use. So there's a thriving market here for that. Tangentially related to the medical field because it's all prescribed, So I am going to use my crime and streetwise to try to track down one of these script factories and see who I can talk to about what they know.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and roll it. The more bigger your success, the more information you get, sir.
All right, let's see what we got.
Got a basic. It's a good start. Do you want to risk that basic? Do you have something that gives you a free reroll?
I don't have a free reroll. I have silver tongue when I'm trying to lie, persuade others, find a compromise, or bargain.
That fits. That's a free reroll.
I'll take it. Yeah, that's
Another
Keep it up.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Keep it
my
up, sir.
goodness. Okay. Here comes the download. The first thing you discover is that Dr. Siddha Khan, who is a world famous Nobel Prize winning scientist, she is the creator of Project Medusa. Dr. Sita, Sita Khan, Kahn.
Okay.
Oh boy, I gotta come up with all kinds of stuff here with an extreme. Next, you find out through some of the contacts that Project Medusa is not medicine. It's actually a deadly virus. And this party is not to reveal, for the public, it's to reveal Project Medusa as this new life-saving drug. But there are some ne'er-do-wells, some government representatives for sanctioned countries that are going to be there. Secretly, this is actually an auction for the highest bidder to take Project Medusa. Last but not least, you find out where the name came from. It was actually Dr. Khan who named it. She named it Medusa based off of an extinct creature of the same name that they actually found. And they're using the DNA of a Medusa to create this deadly virus. It sounds like to me our game plan is tomorrow night we are going to come to Mr. Stamos's party as part of the catering firm. We're going to have to figure out where Project Medusa is. I think we need to stop this auction because if this thing gets into the wrong hands, who knows what kind of global catastrophe could possibly happen. We could barely handle COVID, let alone a deadly virus made from the DNA of an ancient Greek mythological monster. And I think we also maybe need to figure out where Dr. Khan is, and because maybe Dr. Khan will be critical in order for us to make sure that the world is safe from Project Medusa. And we're going to figure all of that out when we start the next scene in episode 3. So we're going to go to credits real quick. When we come back, it's time for Stars and Wishes. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, guys. All right, so I think I want to start. So Donald had an alternate theory about what Project Medusa and this party was. It made the four of us thankful that Donald is not the GM, nor is he working for an international terrorist organization. What was your theory on what Stamos might be up to?
So my theory was he had sold short a bunch of stock of the companies that these really wealthy or heavily invested in charge of, realizing that if he released the virus as a terrorist attack, it would kill them, crash the economy, but he would be making bank as all their stock crashed.
So, side note for the other three of you that are taking notes, we don't let Jack talk to Stamos.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Jack, this is more of a Gavin plan, isn't it?
That's fair.
All right. So Donald, we'd like to do thoughts, stars, and wishes after every episode. Thoughts is just the thoughts about the system, the game itself. Stars were moments that really stood out for you, the times in the episode that you're going to remember for a long time. And then wishes are what you're wishing for as a player, not as a character. So let's start with thoughts.
So thoughts, I like the system because it's this really weird combination of very swingy but very consistent because of the reroll mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And and all those times where it's like, okay, you've got one basic, well, now you've got an extreme, or the impossible that we all took a moment to bask in, or me rolling literally 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the die roll. So when we first saw it, it's like, okay, you kind of get the feeling that, well, it's going to be swingy because of the mechanic, so they have to add it in the rerolls. But you think the rerolls kind of stabilize the system, where I think it really gets more energy into the system.
I agree.
Because you hit that low and then that high.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It is definitely dicier than most games that I like to play, but because the dice are smoothed a little bit, and you have the spikes, and what's great about the system because of the genre, these spikes don't go against you, right? The spikes only end up going for you because the GM is not spiking dice. I'm not
Yeah.
rolling dice and re-rolling and getting an extreme against you, right? So it really kind of furthers those huge big moments that you have in an action movie. So I'm with you 100%, Donald. Stars.
Um, the conversation that Allie and I just had,
That was cool.
because it's really easy to get into a character and then maintain the momentum of the character, whatever that momentum is. But she had to 180-degree switch the emotional piece of that character from this, I'm the smartest one in the room, I can move forward because I know what's going on, to I have no clue, I've completely lost control. And just the ability to do that as easily as she did and still maintain the character in a way that you believe the character, the character.
Yeah, it was a cool moment, and this is not a tender moments game.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy that we can take those timeout mechanics to really kind of to tap into that. And we can also see those types of moments happen during the action scenes as well. So this is definitely different in that way. But I agree, Donald. That was pretty awesome.
Mm.
All right, what are you wishing for in the next couple episodes?
I guess role play is okay. So honestly, what I'm kind of wishing for is a dance montage during the party
Okay.
where we're having to, where we're dealing with the security, and so we're like having to grab partners and kind of dance around the room to keep the security away, type of thing. Because that's a very classic of this genre. Is if you're at a party, at some point you can't start a bar brawl, so you have to dance your way out of it.
I think somebody needs when everybody gets suited up in their catering gear, someone needs to check to make sure Jack doesn't have a tuxedo hiding under it.
What you mean the it's not formal shirt and vest? Because all it takes is one punch from Mello, and I have this suit.
That is
Tuxedo
true.
jacket from one of the guards.
That's true. That's true. He can size
That's
them
what
up
I
too
do.
to make sure it'll fit.
Yeah.
All right, Troy. Let's start with thoughts.
Well, Craig got me addicted to funky dice, so I'm always down with the funky dice now. And like I said the last time we played, it's Yahtzee.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to pick up. But like Donald said, you got to roll. It's like, why not re-roll?
Yeah.
Even if you don't, even when you said you have 6 dice to get two extremes, I'm like, no, but I may be able to get 4 dice and get an extreme, and everything's going to be okay. So I love it. It's just fun. Our table is fun,
Great table.
and it's just it's a fun system just to play.
Excellent.
For me,
Stars. What really stood out for you, Troy?
I'm gonna have to go stars with the dice with that impossible, and that the look on your face when she rolled it was like he almost had liquids coming out of his nose.
Oh, I mean, as a GM, you're like, okay, I guess we're done. That's it. Right? You rolled 5 of a kind, so whatever was the threat, whatever is going on, apparently Clara took care of it all. and I really loved as a table how everybody kind of collaborated and created a pretty damn cool moment.
Yeah.
It was our brain that did the action move at the end there, which was cool.
And I told you it had a backup shoot up in there. Backup shoot system.
You never got to find out.
Right.
What are you wishing for, Troy? What would you like to see more of, or what haven't you seen in this game that you hope to see before we finish up?
A little bit more role play,
Mhm.
which I think we're going to have to do to get inside the inner sanctum of this party, and just see what the dice say. That's all I wish for. Just laugh, make a memory, and do what the dice tell us to do.
So nobody's going to realize this because of how great he is, but Roger is under the weather, but still stood up and said, "Hey, I'm ready to play," and nobody was the wiser. So I appreciate you getting through it. It's never fun to do anything when you're sick, but I appreciate you doing that, Raj.
Never fun to do anything except for play this great game. Great people.
So let's talk about your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said about the game system, the game itself? I really like the holding those extra successes over to give to your allies. That has saved my bacon on numerous occasions because Gavin is not a punchy punch, and so you know, yeah, and like we mentioned in the chat, just the ease of keeping a combat against 9 mercenaries without having to track. Well, which one did you hit? They're down half, and this guy's up 2, and
he's got armor.
It's just boom, 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 straight through, and then that also carries to other things like fighting the man in black, and it's all the same thing. So you don't have to like switch gears or trying to change a mentality when you go into a different situation. It's all, here's the obstacle, how are you overcoming it? And so it leans on looking for unique actions instead of just, well, I hit this button on my sheet, and then I hit this button on my sheet, and then I hit this button on my sheet. And of course the great table leans into those weird edge cases of finding cool ways to handle obstacles. So.
And I think this style of play, Roger, may not be for everybody, right? Because it takes a certain level of narrative control, of creativity, to make it all gel together, because it's not simulationist, like a GURPS or a D&D could be. So with the right table, though, which we definitely have here, I think it can create a hell of an action scene, that's for sure. All right, stars, what stood out?
I think we mentioned it. Allie's not the face or not the moneymaker. That's
great line.
Did you get adrenaline for that? Because if you didn't, you definitely.
Oh, you definitely, yeah. Open up that sheet. You definitely get adrenaline for that. Are you kidding
Pull it
me?
back up.
That is clear.
And wishes?
Yeah, wishes. I was gonna say I wish I would have a chance to do some of my my talkie talks, but I got to do my talkie talks this game. So I hope for more of that. Obviously, now that we're going into more of a social setting, it's not all going to be punchy punch and shooty shoot. So maybe Gavin's going to have to do some stuff besides just wait for a lucky coconut. But yeah, I think it's all fun. It's all good, and I'm having a blast. Another thing that I wanted to point out is just the tightness of the narrative that we're going through. It's kind of next scene, and it's not a lot of chuff around. So I really like that. It's too easy to sort of languish in the minutia sometimes of role-playing games, and it's fun for me to just push through and get to the story beats. So
yeah, and not roll for everything, right? So we're not going to roll to see if Clara can open up the briefcase. We're not going to roll to see if you have that content. Like this is an action movie. Let that stuff's easy. Let's make all of that happen, and let's have fun with it. So I'm with you. All right, last but not least, Allie, thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Thoughts. I am having so much fun with this game. I really kind of piggybacking off of what Roger said, the story beats. I think having a mechanic of the timeout so that you can have some of that more role play and more of that like in between as a mechanic helps move the story along too, so you don't accidentally, like, I know Troy and we play in a group where we can talk and talk and talk during sessions.
Yeah.
And we fall into that a lot. So it's nice when there is a game that is kind of like, yes, do it, but also like, it's just a timeout. You're not spending an hour on this stuff here.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody gave you stars. But what was your star? What really stood out for you, Allie?
I loved Gavin getting to get onto the computer screens and getting to do all of his like investigative and finding all the deep dark corners of everything. Like I love that that's part of his character. That was very fun to like hear him like play out.
Well, and that's
Sure.
a situation like in the movie. In the movie, you're like, why is he even on the team? And then you're like, oh,
Because he figured out everything we needed.
exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and
And I will say I did find it nice that it was Gavin, and don't take this the wrong way,
Mhm.
but it wasn't Clara. It wasn't the brains
Right.
going, okay, let me do the research. It was like, it was the tech head, and then it turned into Mela going, I need a gun. Knock, knock,
Yeah.
knock. Gavin, I need a gun.
Right.
Hello.
Exactly.
oh, Brian in the chat says the star for me had to be the I unclip my parachute. Ultimate action hero move by Troy.
100%.
All right. So wishes, what are you hoping for, Allie?
I mean, more of the creativity that this table has when it comes to out of the box solutions to what we're facing here. It's wild how everybody's coming up with this stuff out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's a neat collaborative thing happening at this table, which makes me happy, and it makes these games real exciting. And it also helps relieve the pressure when we we do it all together. So that's great. Guys, don't miss it on Saturday. We are continuing our Trail of Cthulhu game. We are doing Eternal Lies. It is me as a player, not as a GM, and it's not looking good, kids. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not looking good.
Never
It's
looked
not
good
looking good.
in Cthulhu.
Wait, it's a mythos adventure, and it's not looking good.
Yeah. It's definitely tonally slightly different than Outgunned. And our heroes are not nearly as well equipped to handle this type of stuff, but we are having an absolute blast. It is another killer table. Then coming around, we're going to be back, so make sure you follow us on all the socials so you can make sure you don't miss episode 3. Like, subscribe, all that baloney. Something I'm really excited about, there's another one-on-one game coming up. It's a card-driven narrative game without a GM. It is me and Amy, who you've seen on the channel before. It is a game called Kiss Me If You Can. It is a card prompt driven game where one of us is going to play an art thief and the other one is going to be playing the person pursuing them. And we go through a series of prompts and we find out, do we catch the thief or do we kiss them? I guess we're going to have to find out. Take care, all.
Nice.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.